Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipe. These are the condiments. I've recently begun working my way through the sauces. I used to think that today's sauce was called secret sauce. When I verified with the friend who created the sauce, I was told no, it was never a secret, but it is special. So this is called special sauce. It only has 3 ingredients and is going to go together very quickly. In fact, it's so quick, I decided I need to add something else to go with this. Otherwise, this video is going to be very, very short. If you watch my video for sour cream salad dressing, you know that I tried to make homemade mayonnaise and I failed at it. So today, in addition to making my special sauce, my friend's special sauce, I'm also going to make homemade mayonnaise. If you watch my video for fruit juice, you also know that I burned up my blender on camera. I bought a new blender and I'm going to use it today to help tip the odds in my favor for making the homemade mayonnaise. I did make mayonnaise once or twice before, way back in the day, but I had no problems with it at all. I didn't even own a blender then, so I don't know what has changed. I don't know if I used a different recipe or if my hand mixer just had more oomph in those days. I will admit I practiced mayonnaise this week. I refuse to be outdone by a simple condiment. So today I will make special sauce and then I will move on to homemade mayonnaise. Enough backstory, let's get to work. I'm going to take this down so you can see what I'm doing. This is going to go really quickly. This is a store-bought brand of barbecue sauce that is made locally. I realize not everybody is going to have access to this. You get a sweet barbecue sauce. That should work just fine. I'm using 16 ounces of it, the entire bottle. Next is the stuff. I'm sure you're probably familiar with this. This is Frank's Red Hot. As I say, I did not create this recipe. I have a friend who did. It was just stuff from the refrigerator put together and in such a way that it actually turned out really good. We have 1 cup or 8 ounces of the Frank's. So it's 2 to 1 barbecue sauce to Frank's. And then just plain old yellow mustard, and there isn't really a measurement for this. It's just, oh, maybe a tablespoon or so. It's just basically by color. So just a good squirt. And then I'm going to whisk this together. I might want to add a little more of the mustard just to make the color. It's ruddy brick color, I guess. I think we need a little bit more. Maybe 2 tablespoons altogether. The amount is added based on color. This has got some zing to it. So the Frank's Red Hot gives it some heat and some vinegar, so some tanginess. The barbecue sauce is pretty sweet. The mustard adds a little bit of zip to it and gives it some color. All right, that's all there is to it. Maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 16 ounces of sweet barbecue sauce, and 8 ounces of Frank's Red Hot. Now I'm going to pause this for a moment. I have some ribs cooking. I'm going to go get them from the oven, and I'm going to coat them and put them back in the oven. But I'll bring them over here so you can watch me coat them. Okay, so these are my ribs. This is for dinner tonight. These have been baking in the oven for about almost 5 hours now, so kind of low and slow. They're basically done, but they're kind of boring. I mean, I didn't even add salt or pepper, onion, garlic, any of that, because all of those ingredients are in my sauces. So this special sauce is good for a dipping sauce or for a mop sauce. So today I'm going to do it as a mop sauce. But I don't actually have a mop, so I'm going to spoon it on to my ribs. These are actually riblets. Kind of generously kind of slathered on. And then these are going to go back into the oven for about another 20 to 30 minutes. Just wanted the sauce to kind of caramelize. Okay, so I've got the ribs coated. They're going to go back in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes until the sauce has kind of caramelized and turned into a glaze. So I'll turn this off again. I'll be back in a moment. Dinner's in the oven cooking. The riblets are going to be my dinner tonight. And now we're going to make some mayonnaise. So this is my new blender jar, and I actually chilled it in the fridge. The oil's been chilled, the jar's been chilled, the eggs are still chilled. My dry ingredients are not. I actually went back to my old Mita Gibbons cookbook. That is like the tried and true one, and something when you need something that works, that's the one to go with. There's no shortcuts, but it does a good job. All right, so mixing bowl. So my dry ingredients are 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. And I did say I made this earlier this week. It calls for a teaspoon of salt. I found it was quite salty, so I'm going to cut the salt in half. So we're doing a half a teaspoon of salt. Then it has 2 teaspoons of confectioners or powdered sugar, which I thought was rather unusual, but hey, it works. I'm not going to complain. And a dash of cayenne pepper. This is less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's pretty small, just a little bit. I'm going to whisk these together. So my dry ingredients are combined. So 2 egg yolks. These have been chilling in the fridge. Into the blender jar they go. And now I'm going to add my dry ingredients to that. We're going to blend those up together. Okay. And now I'm going to alternate. This is white distilled vinegar, and this is vegetable oil. This is 2 tablespoons, or excuse me, 1/4 a cup of distilled white vinegar and 1.5 cups of salad oil. We're going to alternate. A little bit of vinegar, a little bit of oil, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of oil till it's all used up. A little bit of vinegar first. And to pause it for just a minute, I'm going to stir it down a little bit. I'm going to let it blend just a little bit more. We're almost there. I think we're there. It looks good. I'll scoop out a little bit of this. We have homemade mayonnaise. Rich, creamy. There's a little tiny bit of oil around the edge. Let's give this a taste. It's got some tang to it. It's probably because of the white vinegar. I like the fact that I used less salt this time. That's good stuff. To figure out what I'm going to use that with. All right, so let me go get my ribs. These have a nice glaze on them. I honestly wouldn't mind them if they cooked a little bit longer. I know they're cooked done. They've been baking for, like I say, about 5 hours, so they're plenty done. Here's my sample. Okay, these are riblets, so they're little. That's quite good. It's tangy. It's got a little bit of heat to it. And then it works as a dipping sauce too. A little on the side. It's definitely got some vinegary pop to it from the Franks. It's just a nice blend. It's got some heat, got some sweet, got some salty. That's good stuff. I feel a little guilty using a blender to make the mayonnaise. Back in the day, I didn't need a blender. I did it in the kitchen with just an electric hand mixer. Didn't have any problem with it at all. So I felt a little guilty. I do know the native job is easier with the right tools. And the goal here was to find a method that would consistently make a good product. There's occasions when you just want something a little bit nicer. It's nice to know that I can. I wanted to overcome the challenge. I am, if nothing else, tenacious. Tenacious is just a polite way of saying stubborn, which I'm guilty. Well, next time I will be making a sauce that has a Latin American origin. Please join me for that. I will include the links for the sour cream, sour dressing, and the fruit chews in the comments below in case you want to go watch me fail on camera. And I'll also include the ingredients and the preparation for both the the special sauce and the mayonnaise in the description below. If you have any questions or feedback for me, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I really do like hearing from you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. Thank you for joining me on my journey through the condiments and specifically through the sauces. I'll see you again next time. Bye.